Here we are on Magic the Gathering Arena. People who know me know that I've been playing Magic for a while now. If you've only seen me through YouTube, you might look through my channel and see a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh videos. I played Yu-Gi-Oh when I was a kid, and I basically quit around 2017 and kind of picked it up again to play Master Duel some. But around 2018, I picked up Magic and I've been playing Magic on and off for the past, what would that be, 8 years? I haven't been playing it constantly the whole time, but I have been playing it. But since you guys have never seen my Arena account, and because I don't really have any great ideas for like long series to do or anything, I think I just kind of wanted to go through some of the decks I have, maybe throw some gameplay as we go. The things that we're going to focus on are all of these saved decks from back in the day. I'm going to kind of walk you through the story of my playing Arena. So over the years, basically every year that I had some dedicated playtime, I decided to save some of these decks. The first deck I ever built. So the first time I ever played Magic, I just felt like drafting. I just kind of did. And Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't really have a draft format. So I was like, you know what? I've been reading Magic articles, like Magic game design articles, for a long time. I'm just gonna go to a Magic draft and just draft. And and learn how to play. And I basically already knew how to play, but I didn't really know how to play. And I had so much fun. And I went the next day. It was like a pre-release, so I went the one day, and I went the next day. It was pre-release for the first Ravnica set. And then I picked up Magic the Gathering Arena. And then I built, and this was the first deck I ever built. Now, a couple things about this deck. A lot of people out there, played when they were like 12 years old, and I did not. So but because they were kids, they played like this for a long period of time. I played like this for a very short period of time, but because I was an adult, I have documentation of it, which is debatable how it is. This deck is awful. It's terrible. It's got some things going on. The basic strategy is you just play creatures, and then you hope to get up to 6 mana so you can play Arcane Encyclopedia and start drawing cards every turn, which is terrible. It has removal, and it has creatures, so it's not like it can't win the game. But this deck's really bad. I think because I'm still in bronze, I'm just gonna play one game with each of these decks that I'm gonna talk about. But this first game should go pretty quick. Unfortunately, because most of these decks are originally standard decks, I have to save them as historic decks, and so we're probably just gonna get thrashed by some, actually powerful standard deck. The other thing to keep in mind about this deck is Arena was brand new at the time, so this deck didn't look as bad at the time because not everybody had the actual cards to play. This creature can't be blocked. Yeah, this is gonna be really dumb. I think we Luminous Bonds here. And we just attack. There's just no way. If this game's uninteresting, we will skip through it. I think my favorite card in the deck was Mentor the Meek, maybe? We got the 4th land, but we didn't get to play our Hammer Dropper. Really put us behind. That's fine. Ooh. Another Guild Gate. Nah, it's still better to play Hammer Dropper here, for sure. Ooh, my. Ward 4. Can I pay for that? I am 1 short of being able to pay for that. Target blocking or blocked creature gets +2/+2. So if I attack, we get the +1/+1 counter. Mentor is the keyword from Ravnica Allegiance. This is basically a Ravnica Allegiance starter deck, by the way. Yeah, I think we do try this. Let's see how he wants to block. Okay. And now we go like this, and he survives. Well, that's cool. Guys, we're kind of in this game. I don't know if you're noticing that, but... Cloud Conceer. Okay, I can shock that. That doesn't matter. Aegis Turtle. Oh my gosh, guys, no way. The cool part about playing in bronze is you actually get to win some games sometimes. Okay. But here. It hasn't happened. Oh, Inspiring Commander is probably my favorite card in the deck. Luminous Bond, this Aegis Turtle. Wait for the counterspell. No counterspell! Hey, what do you know? Okay. Very cool. That was crazy. Wasn't expecting that. Sure, why not? Anyways, enough about that deck. We don't care. Here's what's really happening. So my first ever mythic rare card I ever crafted was an Ajani card. It was this Ajani Adversary of Tyrants. I kind of immediately regretted it because the next 3 mythic rare cards I ever crafted was these 3 Teferi Hero of Dominaria. I loved this card. Now, I was not as degenerate as other people were, which is actually bad. I should have been as degenerate as other people were, but I hadn't really experienced... I just wanted to play a control deck that played creatures. Turns out those decks do exist, but at the time they kind of didn't exist, which frustrated me. So I was playing, like, Teferi and playing just Azorius Control, but I was playing, like, Cavalier of Gales, Sphinx of New Prob, just as, like, ways to, like, close out the game. But what I will say... having a light tempo game with Siren Stormtamer and Merfolk Trickster actually low-key being an excellent card works. The issue with this deck, which I don't need to be berating every single deck I pull, this deck is saved because this is the first deck where I ever reached Platinum, which I understand Platinum isn't really a achievement, but as a totally new player who had never played before, and just trying to like kind of make something that works on my own, and as I was figuring out the game, making Platinum was actually a pretty legitimate step. We have Merfolk Trickster, who's a wizard, so we're playing Wizard's Retort, which is also the reason why we're playing like Deputy of Detention, because I just liked playing creatures. For a while, I was playing the Senate Guildmage. I guess it didn't make it into the final version, but I was actually legitimately playing this card for a while just as a wizard to support Wizard's Retort. Siren Stormtamer is a wizard. These are the real reasons why all these like low-cost wizards are in here, is just so we can play Wizard's Retort. Merfolk Trickster is great. You Teferi, you untap 2 lands, you can Merfolk Trickster. Merfolk Trickster has tons of different kinds of ability, and we're actually legitimately trying to attack with creature damage. Settle the Wreckage, classic card from that time. Dovin Grand Arbiter, by the way, I would immediately cut this card if I was working on this card. This card is... It wasn't good at the time, it wasn't good now. I think it just kind of ended up squeaking in there. It just happened to be in the final build, but I wouldn't actually say it was in the final, like, optimized build. But let's get in here. I don't love it. We have the Merfolk Trickster... but it's just a bunch of board wipes. I'm actually going to mulligan this. I think we can do better. This is better. I will keep this. And it's the Sphinx that goes. That's the least important card here. But we don't have, like, Siren Stormtamer into holding up Counterspell. So that makes me kind of wonder if I even play it turn 1. Which I think I do. Just as, like, to get in some early damage. But it doesn't really do a whole lot here. But any island gets us holding up Counterspell for the rest of the game, so... I don't think I quite... Ooh, Esper Sentinel. That's no fun. I think one thing I didn't... either wasn't in the card pool or I didn't understand at the time is... I think Teferi is kind of my only card advantage engine. And if I don't have Teferi, I'm not really doing a whole lot. I actually probably should have held back Siren to maybe block the Esper Sentinel, but it's probably not a big deal. Ooh, look at all these creatures and me holding up in the gate. Yeah, I'll hold back the block. Oh, no lands! I'm playing like ops. I'm playing all kinds of things that can get me a land. But ooh, portable hole. I don't think we're negating this. I just don't think that's worth it, but I wonder if it should be considered. I don't know. Tough to say. Oh my gosh. This actually would be a totally acceptable draw if I drew any lands. Wow. This is... But that is kind of an issue with the deck. I think I am playing... I don't know if I really am playing... Actually, am I playing Opt? I don't think I am. I'll have to look at the deck list again. It's definitely this Cavalier of Gales. But I don't have, like, any small draw cards. And we just don't have a way to, like, draw our way out of this. Wow, and it kept getting worse. You know, back then I would have called this unlucky, but I think this is actually genuinely a deck building mistake. But yeah, good game. Alright, so I played Standard for around 2 years or something like that. But in that time, Throne of Eldraine came out, and I fell in love with the Knights sub-theme in Throne of Eldraine, and I was kind of playing this in the background of Standard the entire time it was in there. And this is the deck list I ended up at the end. I actually wonder if the version before the first rotation was actually better, but this is the one after the second rotation. This is the one I saved. Worthy Knight was my favorite card. At the time, I was really interested in when you cast something, you get something. And which is funny because at the time, I just couldn't find too many of these cards. When I finally found them, I'm like, this is cool. Turns out there are tons of those cards, but I just didn't have enough breadth of the Magic universe at the time. But this card is worse than I would think it is, because when you cast a knight, you get a human. So because of that, there are lords that pump your knights, but they don't pump the humans. So the humans are literally just 1/1s. But what the trick is that the ones that say choose a creature type, because most of your knights are humans anyways, you just say human instead of knight on things like Icon of Ancestry, and then the humans do get buffed. We're just the aggro deck. We're trying to go low to the ground, and then we're trying to attack a bunch of stuff, play Embercleave, and swing and stack a bunch of lords. So let's get her done. Yeah, great, excellent hand. For what this deck is. Fervent Champion, of course, being I don't know the guy's name, but being one of the... Oh yeah, Javier Dominguez World Championship card. I actually got this card as my promo at the pre-release. Alright. There's always this question, do you go for the veteran right away or the knight? But the way this deck is constructed, we're trying to get as much value as possible, and then we're trying to get a big swing later. Okay. You could argue I play Skynet Vanguard now for the same reason, but I think I'm just gonna get in with the veteran. Make a human. Perfect champion. Make a human. And it doesn't really matter what we target, but spreading out the damage in case he wants to block. Cool. We actually have a shot of winning next turn, especially against a Gruul deck. I don't know what he could possibly play. Okay. I don't think that matters to me. We're just Ember cleaving here, I think. This, you know what? We're gonna do the thing that I'm probably not supposed to do. I'm just gonna stack it all on the same dude. Got him! Let's go. Alright, and then I basically didn't play for 2 years. But basically what happens is I come into the game, I play standard for 2 years, and by the time the second rotation has happened, like, the cards that I started with, I don't get to play with anymore, and that really bugged me. So then I don't play for 2 years, and I'm kind of coming back, like, yeah, I kind of want to play again. And I ended up playing Historic, or something, or I think it was just Historic back then. So Historic was a little bit different back in the day, but I ended up trying to play all the Eternal formats, and I wasn't really playing Standard. And honestly, a lot of these random decks kind of come from playing at that time. Because we just played the Knights deck, let's just play the Knights deck again. This is Explorer Knights, which I guess is technically a Pioneer deck. It actually was built back when there was only Historic in the game, but I will be playing it in Pioneer because it's a little bit nicer to the deck is to play it in Pioneer. The main difference is that now we're doing things like Brave the Elements. White creatures I control gain protection from the chosen color till end of turn. And then I think, yeah, we got Adeline. Adeline's one of the best knights in the game. It's so good. We are also allowed to dip older, so we're now playing like History of Benalia. Werefox Bodyguard, one of my favorite cards. Foxes are my favorite animal. And this is a Fox Knight. Knights are my favorite Magic the Gathering tribe, and foxes are my favorite animal, so we have to play one Werefox Bodyguard. And just a couple other random things. You know, it's a little bit different, a little bit more souped up. Yeah, seems fine. Yeah, it's not great, I guess, but Fervent Champion, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have kept. I should have looked at this a little closer. Recommission doesn't do anything. Circle of Loyalty doesn't really do anything. And even though we have the Fervent Champion on one, that's probably not enough to keep this hand. But it's been a while since I played. The thing that, at the end of all this, I haven't really played Arena for a year, even though I've been playing like Commander in real life a fair amount. And so I'm just kind of coming back after being super rusty for a year, trying to maybe think about getting back into the swing of things. Ooh, that's pretty good. That is also pretty good. I think we're just gonna stack History of Benalia's and just try to make a bunch of tokens. But we'll see. Oh, brother. I will take the trade, but I don't know what to do about this Swift Sphere. Yep, make a second one of those. I really want to play History of Benalia again. Do I pay for the Sacred Foundry and then Brave the Elements defensively? That's not a bad... I don't think that's a bad play. But I just don't know if it's a good one either. Especially since I'm kind of in Lightning Bolt range. Like 2 Bolt Waves, I'm just dead. But I was dead to 2 Bolt Waves anyways. I guess it's the 2... Now I'm dead to 2 Shocks, or 2 Burst Lightning, I guess. Which is kind of the problem. Yeah, this is the other thing. Is now I can dodge removal, too. Ooh, we got the full dodge. And he took some damage. Now he has to play a spell if he wants to survive. Okay. So we're gonna make the knight. We're gonna pump them. I feel like we should play Circle... I think we should just play out all the cards in our hand. So we're going to do this. We're going to get back Fervent Champion. Circle Loyalty is now only 2 mana. We play that. The question is, do we attack? And the answer is, I think so. Well, they have Vigilance, so we definitely attack. Do we attack with this guy? I also think so. Okay. I have a bunch of 3/3s. But I'm at 4 life against a burn deck, so... He has a real good shot of just ending me here. Okay, we definitely have to full block this. Yep, there it goes. Oh, but he loses! Let's go! That's crazy. It didn't... genuinely didn't think I had that one. Alright, but that was just what I was doing in the background. Like, in the foreground, what I was really working on at the time was this Arclight Phoenix deck. Arclight Phoenix, I did not actually play it when it was in Standard, but I always liked the idea of it, and it was it's now kind of one of my favorite cards. I don't get to play this anywhere else. I don't play any physical 60-card formats, and this card is, like, not worth it in Commander, but oh my gosh, this card is disgusting. Alright, the reason I was playing Historic Phoenix was because at a time when nobody else was playing this deck, the thing about Historic is that I don't think there's a lot of data, or at least at the time there wasn't a lot of... Like, I couldn't just go on MTG Goldfish and rip deck lists for it. And so it's really just like playing a lot and observing what other people were doing. I didn't see a lot of Phoenix. What I liked about Arclight Phoenix was this. I think this is the only format that has Dragon Rage Channeler and Faithless Looting and Arclight Phoenix in the same format. The amount of ripping through your deck that you can have is ridiculous. Like, in my deck, and when I saw other people playing Arclight Phoenix, they were playing a much more stable build where they're trying to play like kind of a tempo game, and then Arclight Phoenix is something you did in like the mid game or late game to like do a burst of damage to win the game. I am optimizing my deck for one thing and one thing only, and that is to play get a Phoenix on the, or have the ability to have a Phoenix on the field turn 3. Now, it doesn't happen every game. It doesn't need to happen every game, but having that burst the ability was ridiculous. This is not a best of 3 deck. I know that there is a sideboard here. We do not play best of 3 with this deck because I was way too scared of Graveyard Hate. I'm like, look, I don't know how to play around Graveyard Hate. We're not going to play Graveyard Hate. There's lots of principles we can go over, but basically the deck is we're trying to shred through our deck very quickly, get to Arclight Phoenix, and we're just an aggro deck. We have DRC plus yeah, this is fine. We'll see if we can hit a Phoenix. Discard Mountain, I guess. I don't love that. Okay, it worked out. This and a DRC. Got to get that surveil value. DRC, I think, keeps getting nerfed. Oh, jeez, that's annoying. Well, that makes me want to wait a turn on all these. So what a lot of people do is they'll just fire off all these ops and stuff. I don't really have a way to discard a Phoenix, though. But the reason I'm not going to do that, and I don't really need to ramp with the treasure token, the reason I'm not going to do that is because on turn 3, we have the ability to like hit a right sequence of cards and just get to a Phoenix on turn 3. And if I play these cards and hit things that don't allow me to do that, I don't want to waste my opportunity. But I understand... Oh, Consider's really good, though. I understand the theory... I think I will draw this Consider, actually. I do understand the theory that I should just be sculpting my hand. But the thing is, my hand was already pretty sculpted, so... There's the Faithless Looting. Let's see if I just rip a Phoenix. Nah. Ancestral Anger Island, I think, go. I don't know if this deck's gonna play any creatures. Maybe I should be discarding this Unholy Heat. Because the wall doesn't matter. Yeah, this op's gonna have to do a lot for me. Oh, no! Wait a minute. No, Unholy Heat just works here. So I'm just gonna do this. Cool. We got to the Delirium. We don't have a Ledger Shredder. We finally found a DRC, but it's a bit late. I'm kind of thinking about drawing this and playing it just so we can rip through our deck better. Yeah, it's fine. It's not the best, but it is what it is. But now we're down to way too few cards in hand. One of the big things that I was trying to solve as I was building this deck is finding cards that can increase my hand size. Because currently I'm playing a bunch of cards that decrease my hand size. Or go neutral. I really should have just... I'm going to start with Consider, but I wonder about this Faithless Looting. That goes to the graveyard. The Ledger Shredder is actually pretty good. I think I'm going to keep the Ledger Shredder. At this point, we're kind of off of the... We're a little bit off of the Phoenix plan. Maybe not. I wanted to keep the Shredder. Maybe we just Ancestral Anger for more damage and then Otherworldly Gaze to see if we hit a Phoenix? I think actually I will do that. Yeah, look how deep into our deck we're getting, and we haven't found one yet. What is happening? I'm gonna keep the mission briefing. I don't know if that's... No, I'm not. We don't need it. Get out of here. What are we doing? Incredible. We are halfway through our deck and we haven't hit a single Phoenix. This is how the deck works. The hit rate is just like, if we would have hit it at any point, it would have been live the last 2 turns. And now he's gonna make me do a bunch of garbage. Well, DRC's gone. Ooh, Finalia Promise. The thing about Finalia... So, Finalia Promise is a one-of. I kind of learned this trick from the standard decks, I think, but I'm not 100% sure. You play one of it, and it's a 1-card Arclight Phoenix, but we don't have any Phoenixes. So I'm actually just going to play Ledger Shredder and Connive. Yorion's a problem anyways, so... yeah, I guess we get rid of Finalia Promise, but I kind of hate that. At this point, we're probably just casting Phoenixes that we have anyways. So... The other thing is you can't rely solely on Phoenix. You need to have other threats, or else the deck just doesn't work. And that is what we're doing right now, is we have other threats. Our opponent's deck... I haven't talked to our opponent's deck at all. Oh, boy. Well, that goes. Oh, weird. I don't think that does anything. Do I just Faithless Looting? Just the Faithless Looting? Creature or enchantment. Does he has 1 enchantment. I could make him recast this. Deals 4 damage to any target, you gain 4 life. Target opponent discards 2 cards, draw 2 cards, you lose the game. This is gonna sound stupid. I kinda wanna just... I'll Faithless Looting first. You never know. Don't need that right now. Draw 2. I don't really need the lands. And then now we get a Ledger Shredder trigger. But we never get a Phoenix trigger. I'm going to put this in the graveyard anyways. Which is super unfortunate. But we do get to smack for a lot of damage here. Guess only 7, but still. Still don't really know what my opponent's deck is doing. He's just some Blink deck, I think. Then he gives up. Let's go. If I was like playing games for content, I actually probably wouldn't save that game, or I would tell you that that's kind of the change up of the deck. The fastball of the deck is the Phoenixes, but when you don't hit the Phoenixes, you need to have a backup plan. And you saw in that game that it does have an effective backup plan. All right, those are the 2 decks I saved from them. I actually built a whole bunch of decks around that era, but then I didn't really play for a couple years. Oh, I kind of played off and on. I played with a friend of mine. I wasn't really doing a whole lot, but last year I got really motivated to play Standard. I'm not even sure why. I think I think I'd been slowly playing enough Historic that I just ended up with a lot of the Standard cards. And eventually, and I don't have the full like history of all of the versions of decks that I was playing, I fell in love with Atraxa and tried to make Atraxa work for like a full year in Standard. I kept trying all of these crazy reanimation decks, and my one thing was I wanted any deck I built, I had to be able to cast Atraxa like in the late game if I drew her. So I was really not interested in like the Atali decks or the red decks that were just trying to hit her off of the top of the deck. I wasn't interested in like all-in committed like Rakdos reanimated decks that were just trying to cast Atraxa. And it took me forever to work through the deck. And I worked on so many different versions. Even the version right before this one was a reanimation deck. But eventually, I just settled into Sultai Control, and then what ended up happening is Atraxa ended up in the sideboard anyways. Now, to be clear about Atraxa in the sideboard, I started playing a bunch of best of 3 in this game, and she would come in like almost every game. I just didn't like her against exactly aggro, where she was great if she could deal damage, but she often just got removed and I just got ran over, and I just needed to make sure my aggro matchups weren't atrocious. But I was actually playing, even though there's only 14 cards in the sideboard, I was actually playing best of 3s with this deck, but I ended up playing just Up the Beanstalk. Overlord of the Hauntwoods became one of my favorite cards. This is another one of my favorite cards. We got Atraxa is one of my favorite cards. Overlord of the Hauntwoods is one of my favorite cards. Arclight Phoenix is one of my favorite cards. Worthy Knights are one of my favorite cards. And we're just playing like these 5-mana cards that can be reduced or played early. And we were playing Up the Beanstalk to draw extra cards. And we were playing one of Shouldered. I don't remember why, but we were. I thought Awaken of the Honored Dead was really cool just because I like removal spells that can hit anything. I don't really like dealing with the restrictions. But this is the last deck saved. This is the most recent one. This was from Standard last year. And I have never hit Mythic in this game still, but this deck actually got pretty close. Okay, this deck's actually Pioneer legal. So I'm actually going to play it in Pioneer. Oh my gosh. We have to keep this hand, right? Oh my gosh. This hand, I don't even know if it's good, but we have to keep it. This hand is so much fun. I love this card. Up the Beanstalk is one of my favorite cards. Llanowar Elves. Okay. Probably just casting another Beanstalk next turn. Or we're probably Mortuary first for the selection. We don't play any Revival in the main deck. All the Revival is in the side deck. Oh, shoot. But we could cut down and Duress in the same turn. I'm not really sure what he's up to. The thing about Duress is it's probably not going to hit anything. Against like a mono green elves deck. I'm gonna Duress anyways. I just want to know what's going on. Oh, I can't cut down. Oh, gosh. I think I'm glad I did. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. He's 1 away from Storm the Festival, and but he has Cavalier of Thorns that I can't take. Well, I guess I'll take the cheaper one. Well, it has Flashback. Well, I'll take the cheaper one. But I forgot, I actually cannot cast... Oh, 3 steps ahead would be good. Except I don't have 2 blue. I think I'm actually going to get rid of this. I think it's too late by the time this stuff starts to happen. Oh, we do have it now. Okay, we have cut down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has the Turn Timber Symbiosis. I think I'm actually gonna just let him cast Cavalier of Thorns. But I'm gonna kill one of these things in the end phase to see if he wants to miss his land drop. Which is probably risky, because this thing could pick up a land, right? Yeah, okay. I just got lucky he didn't hit a land. That was dumb. And he does this anyways. Okay. Because so I couldn't have stopped that play. I am just gonna cut down some random thing. I guess it probably is just this Gilded Goose. He doesn't need the colors. It doesn't really matter. I guess it is the goose just because it's untapped. Well, this isn't good. He still has a big Storm the Festival. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana, but he needs 10. That doesn't come in untapped. We could Rock Shuck his Bargain. I think I'm going to up the Beanstalk in case I hit like a 1 mana card I can play. We hit the other up the Beanstalk. Oh boy, I didn't realize how many tap lands I played in this deck. Elvish Reclaimer. Sure. Oh, does he have a card? This is 7 damage. I think we just play a Shieldred regardless here, and then we start ripping through our deck with Rock Shusha's. Rock Shassa's Bargain. How hard is that to say? I wish I could have played her last turn, but yeah, we hit our lands in the wrong order, unfortunately. Now I wish I had that 3 steps ahead in my hand. Do I take the trade? I feel like I do take the trade. Well, he's gonna put a card from his graveyard on top of his library. That's actually a reason to not trade. I don't know what he would go for. Maybe just Storm the Festival. So I take 5, but I gain back 2. But I'm going to draw a bunch of cards. I'm actually not going to block. Because my plan is just gain a bunch of life here. Ooh. Ooh. He definitely has a land that can be, like, untapped or something. I'm not sure what's going on, but something is going on. Destroy target creature with power 3 or less. Well, I think we're just going to bargain. Gain a bunch of life with Shouldred. We're not going to gain that much. We're going to get enough to be relevant here. Okay, we hit a land. That's good. 2 steps ahead doesn't really do a whole lot. This town ain't big enough does something. So this goes in my hand, and then one of these lands. It's probably this one. So we could town during his turn. I'm not sure exactly what I would town, but... Oh, I see what he's doing. He has enough... Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. It's this Elvish Reclaimer. I'm not really sure what the Elvish Reclaimer is doing. I'm not sure I can stop whatever is about to happen here. He's going to do something with a land that he can untap coming up here. But I think I'm just going to pass. I don't think I'm attacking. If I can prevent him from comboing off or something, I think I can win the game by burying him in card advantage. But I genuinely don't know what this is, and it's freaking me out. This is kind of a Brewer's advantage, except that I'm supposed to know the format well enough to know what card this is. Nixthos Shine to Nyx! See, that makes sense. Let's see. Is there a way to stop that? I don't think so. I think we're just gonna have to let this Storm the Festival go and deal with whatever happens after that. Like, if I return Cavalier of Thorns to the hand... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, this was dumb. I should have done it. I should have thought about this. 1, 2, 3. It would have been 3 less, so this would have been 5. So 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, now he gets to untap it. This is just me not playing well.
Let's get moving.
But I don't think he has an X spell. I think it's just Storm the Festival. Oh, but Storm the Festival might hit something. I just don't know where he's going with this, and that's why I'm playing so poorly right now. Oh, trample haste. This still is just not that bad. Like, it's not great, but it's not that bad. Enters. Okay, because that's an enters trigger, I probably should bounce Kiora if he puts a creature on the an appropriate creature on the stack. Oh, he could Crater Hoof here. Okay. Well, that doesn't do a whole lot. Oh, we need to bounce this immediately. Okay, things no longer have haste. Oh boy. Well, we survived that. Barely. I am gonna take the trade. I don't know if I should. I don't know if I should take this trade, though. Because I'm gonna draw a bunch of... I mean, once again, same thing as last time. I'm gonna draw a bunch of cards. Probably. Duress. How much mana do I have? See, sometimes I have, like, Hauntwoods going, and I just have a bunch more mana. Instead, I have all these cards and no mana. Which is the opposite of what I want. We're gonna play this. We gotta start just picking off his creatures. I don't have a way to kill this land, unfortunately. I needed to recognize the Elvish Reclaimer was gonna grab a land, and I didn't do that. I think we town Kiora and then counter it on the way down, which sounds stupid, because it kind of is stupid. It is stupid. Does that even work? I guess it works. It's just dumb. I'm actually going to attack Kiora with Sholdred, and I want to see if he blocks. Okay, just chump blocking. That makes sense. And this town during his upkeep on this Kiora? This is so weird. I'm in such an awkward position here. Okay, so now we have full information. He doesn't have a whole lot going on. I shouldn't have attacked with Shieldred. I needed the blocker. And I should have known that. I kind of want to hold up 3 steps ahead, so I guess we this town something. We'll discard one of these. I think I this town during his turn. Just to make him recast it? No. No, we don't do that. We don't do that. If he ends up with infinity mana here, I'm just gonna hope that he didn't draw like an X spell or something. And we have 3 steps ahead. But yeah, we really should have always hold back Shieldred. That was dumb. Okay, I have to let this go through. Yeah, that's the trouble with this Kiora. Oh yeah, but I should have done the thing. But they're losing life every time they draw cards, so... Gilded Goose, that's fine. $22 green mana. What's he doing with 22 green mana? I kind of have to counter this, so I'm just going to counter it. $18 green mana. Can he do anything with it? He could Beseiju. That actually helps me so much. I'm actually gonna this town though. No I'm not. No I'm not. I'm just gonna let it go. It's fine. I don't need to gain the life. I genuinely want the land. Ooh, Mortuary is tempting, but I think I'll just take a forest. Now, unfortunately, this town kind of doesn't work in this situation. But I want whatever I bounce to be uncastable by him. That's kind of the whole thing. But we'll see how much damage he can even put out. What? What is he doing? Oh, yeah. Do I take the 9? Or do I just try to outgain it here? We have bargain. I think we actually just try to outgain the life here. This is really risky, but... Oh, geez. Well, it's this and this, I guess. Well, we can start to do some stuff. Still no enchantment to kill. Oh, we can't kill Elvish Reclaimer anymore. That was dumb. This is power 3 or less, so this doesn't kill. This is how we kill. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna up the Beanstalk. Okay, Stormbrood, that's good. It's kind of tempting to just Stormbrood kill Reclaimer and then town. Honestly, I could town Trailblazer up the Beanstalk and kill Kiora. That would cut him off from a bunch of mana, but then I die in the backswing, so we don't do that. I think we hold up town and just pass, which is unfortunate. I don't like this scenario, but I don't know. I shouldn't have attacked with Shoulder that one turn. It's really messing me up. He has so much mana, but he needs to draw something good. I'm giving him way too many opportunities to draw into good things. So he's just going to attackers straight up. We're gonna town this and Thorns, I guess, which is a little bit dubious, but because Thorns rips through his deck, so maybe I shouldn't have done that. The Seiju, interesting. Doesn't really matter, so I guess I'll take the tap land. Island doesn't help me. Hit the Hauntwoods, gain some life. Yeesh. Yup, play the Thorns again. Oh, geez, Nissa. I didn't even think about Nissa. Nixu shakes the world. Am I gonna win off just burn damage this game? I guess a functionally mono green deck? That'd be crazy. Oh, no, you're not. Okay. Sure. How do I want to do this? It's kind of tempting to town and kill Kiora. Well, wait, we could just town and win, right? I think I'm going to just cast Overlord as a creature, draw the card, but then do the town thing and try to win the game. Yes! Okay. Ugh, rough. Oh man, I could have played this so much better if I knew what my opponent was doing. Well, there it is. That was an overview of almost all of the important decks that I've saved. I'm not really sure how much more Magic I'm going to be doing on this channel, but I definitely could do a video on changes I've made to my Phoenix deck, my White Knights deck, which I haven't gone through at all, and my foray into Standard with me having no cards from the last year